Okay, if you're an automation consultant, you absolutely know this feeling. You're a total pro at what you do. But man, finding that steady stream of great clients, it can feel like a constant, uphill battle. Well, in this explainer, we are going to fix that. We're going to break down how to find those amazing, high-quality leads, but the smart way. So let's imagine two consultants. Over here, we've got Mark. Mark's reality is, well, it's a grind. He's burning out, scrolling through those freelance sites, competing with a dozen other people on price, only to get ghosted. It's rough. But then there's Sarah. Sarah's reality is completely different. Her pipeline is full of warm leads, she's somehow attracting her ideal clients, and her business is just thriving. So, what is the real difference here?
You know, it's not about being more talented or having more experience. Not really. It's all about strategy. So what is Sarah's secret? That's the exact question we're going to solve together right here, right now.
Sarah's whole secret, it starts with ignoring a huge myth about lead generation. See, most people are following the same old broken playbook. Sarah? She just doesn't.
This is what most people think finding leads looks like, right? The cold calls, the mass emails, the constant posting, and just hoping someone, anyone, notices. We call this the hunter approach. And let me tell you, it's exhausting, it's often expensive, and it puts you in this position where you are always chasing, just like our friend Mark.
But the reality? It's so much simpler. It's kind of beautiful, actually. Sarah's strategy is really just 3 simple steps. First, you go where your ideal clients are already hanging out. Second, you just listen. You listen for the signals that show they have a problem you can solve. And third, you start helpful conversations. That's it. That's the entire game plan.
And this, right here, this is the core mindset shift. It's everything. You stop being a hunter who's constantly chasing prey. Instead, you become a detective, calmly connecting clues that are already right there in front of you.
All right, so let's get into the core of this method. It really all comes down to knowing just 2 things: where to look for your clues and what signals you need to be listening for.
So first up, the where. Look, your ideal clients are already gathering in really predictable places. LinkedIn, that's the professional network where they're talking about their business challenges. Then you have industry-specific communities. Think Facebook groups or Slack channels. These are like the digital water coolers where they go to ask for real advice. And of course, strategic partners, like marketing agencies or business coaches. They're the trusted sources people go to for referrals.
And next, the what. This is where your detective skills really come into play. You're listening for super specific signals. First is problem awareness. That's someone literally saying something like, "I am drowning in paperwork." The next one is growth or change. A company announces they're hiring or just got funding. That's huge because growth always breaks manual processes. And finally, existing automation use. That's when a company says their current Zapier setup is just too basic. They already believe in automation, they just need an expert like you to help them level up. Okay, so let's see how this all comes together in the real world. Let's put on our detective hats for a second and actually follow the clues to find a genuine high-priority lead out in the wild.
So, you're browsing a LinkedIn group and you see this post. Boom! Here's our first clue. Someone is publicly admitting they're drowning in a manual process that they know is a real mess. This is a textbook, perfect problem awareness signal. It's a cry for help. Now, a good detective always digs a little deeper, right? So you click on their profile, you head over to their company page, and what do you find? Clue number 2. They just announced a huge round of funding and they're hiring 10 new people. This is a massive growth signal. It tells you they have momentum, they have challenges, and, crucially, they have a budget to solve them.
And here is the magic. This is the aha moment. When you combine these clues, that stated problem of manual onboarding, plus the context of rapid growth, you found it, a high-priority lead. They don't just have the pain, they have the resources and the urgency to fix it like yesterday. This is the perfect opportunity.
So how do you respond without sounding like every other pushy salesperson? Simple. You act like a helpful expert. First, you acknowledge their pain. Something casual like, "Wow, that's a common challenge for teams that are growing that fast." Second, you share a quick, valuable insight, not a sales pitch. And third, you offer to chat more and share some ideas, totally no strings attached. You're just helping, not selling.
But does this stuff actually work? Well, the difference is just staggering. Your typical cold outreach, you're lucky if you get a 1 or 2% response rate. But with a signal-based approach like this, you're reaching the right person at the absolute perfect time. Your response rates can skyrocket to 30% or even higher. You're not a cold caller anymore, you're a welcome problem solver.
And that brings us right back to where we started. On one side, you've got Mark, the hustler, burning himself out by chasing leads. And on the other, you've got Sarah, the detective, effortlessly attracting the best clients just by connecting the clues. So now that you know the secret to her strategy, the only question left is, which consultant will you choose to be?